What's up guys, Travis here again with Lucky Tackle Box. As these temps begin to heat up and we come out of wintertime, fishermen flock to the lakes in search of catching some of those trophy-sized bass. Now what happens is a lot of these common areas can get stacked up with fishermen and really pressure those fish. So fishing can get tough even though these fish are up and feeding theoretically. So today we're really gonna simplify things with Bass Munitions Breacher Mini Beaver. Now, what we're gonna do is throw it on a small little dart head and we're just gonna drag it in some of these more high percentage areas. And these fish that have been really pressured, if we throw them something that's a little more small packed and a little more finesse, we can actually catch some of those fish that these other fishermen aren't. All right guys, let me tell you something that's unique to Bass Munitions. They don't actually impregnate their baits with salt. And the reason being is they feel that they get a more natural fall and movement out of that bait. The second thing is that they don't add scent at the end. They add scent during the making of this bait, so before they actually mold it. So it's pretty much baked into the plastic, and that way you're getting a little different look, but also getting a consistent scent out of these. Rigging this thing is really simple. All I take is about a 1/4 ounce football jig head, thread it into this bait, and I'm ready to go. As you're dragging this bait along the bottom, it's slowly gonna bump into little pebbles and rocks and things down there. It kicks up these little appendages and gives it that real lifelike, subtle look. All right guys, this is a finesse technique, so I wanna use a spinning outfit. So I start out with Daiwa's Ballistic 2500 series spinning reel. And then I spool that up with 6 to 8 pound. Sometimes I'll go 10 if I've got a lot of structure in the area, but I want that light line so I can really, so I'm not spooking those fish. Then I pair that up with Castaway 7-foot medium fast action rod. I need enough tip to be able to feel that bait and those real subtle bites that can happen because of these finicky fish, but I need enough backbone to be able to get a good hook set on these long casts that's required to fish this technique thoroughly. But we're gonna talk more about that in Retrieval. Yeah, with Retrieval, you guys, one of the first things is making long casts. I want to make sure my reel is nice and spooled up so I can get this bait as far away from the boat as possible. Pressured water, you got to imagine these fish have really hurt a lot of boats. They've hurt a lot of trolling motors. The fish finders really pinging them down there. They've really wised up to a lot of different noises. So if you can get this bait as far away from the boat as possible, you're really giving yourself one advantage. Once I get that bait out there, I want the retrieve is just a real slow drag along the bottom, and then I let it sit for a couple seconds. I scoot it a couple more feet along the bottom, and then I just let it sit. Letting it sit, I vary from 3 to up to 10 seconds. The reason being is I know I'm in a productive area, so I feel comfortable really letting it sit there because I know that there's fish here. I'm just trying to convince those fish to actually bite. All right guys, so some ways to find these high percentage areas is, first of all, if you're spending a lot of time on the water, you're gonna know where these areas are. You've been throwing a lot of reaction baits, covering a lot of water, and you're gonna find where these active fish are. And a lot of times when that bite slows down, whether it's a cold front, whether it's heavily pressured, those fish are still gonna be there. You just might have to slow down with more of a finesse rig like this. Some other ways to figure out where they are is look around. Where you see tons of boats fishing, that's probably some higher percentage areas. If you go by there and there's no boats, it's probably because that bite is shut off, and a lot of people think that these fish moved away, but a lot of times you can come back in there with a slower finesse presentation and get those fish to start biting again. The last thing is go to your local tackle shop. This is one of my biggest pieces of advice for guys that are really trying to learn what's going on out there. And if you go to the tackle shop near the lake, they will really tell you which colors you should be using and some of the more popular areas for this time of the year. And if you go through there and throw reaction baits, don't get anything to bite, go back through with Bass Munitions little Breacher Mini Beaver, and you should be able to get some fish to bite. There we go. There we go. There we go. He was like, wait a minute, I was just taking a bite of something, and now I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. There we go. There we go. There we go. Feisty little sucker. There we go. All right guys, just because these waters are getting really hammered this time of that warm weather doesn't mean these fish aren't gonna bite. If you downsize, really pay attention to some of the smaller little features you're using this small bait like Bass Munitions, little Breacher Mini Beaver, you can really still turn a day where a lot of guys are gonna have a tough time catching fish because these fish have just been pounded too hard. You can still go out there, have success, and have some fun. Once again, I'm Travis with Lucky Tackle Box. If you enjoyed the video, give us that thumbs up that we always love, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button below. If you have any questions to the gear that we're using or any of the stuff that we're wearing, check the description box below because there should be some links to all that.